Yeah, welcome back to Kingsport 1886, our ongoing exploration of Lovecraft, American poetry, monsters, and New England fishing towns. Tonight we will be without the services of David, who's been playing Jonathan our mortal, but we get back the services of Bethany, who's playing Helen our witch. But first, let's introduce Serafina, my longtime collaborator, partner in crime, and why have you signed on for this? And she is playing our worm, Siobhan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Serafina. I'm playing Siobhan the Worm, who has plans to go to a fairy ball with Finch, and is getting very cozy with Alice. And this time around, I'm interested to see how, now that everybody's a treasure, how she behaves and whether or not that comes back to bite anybody, as it probably will.
Yeah, it's gonna work out. Don't worry. Um, so next, why don't we do Finch, played by Daryl, and Finch is our queen.
So Finch is continuously stumbling through accepting all of these powers that are based on a hot score that he's sorely lacking in. So that's been fun to figure out. He really just wants people to love and adore him, and he's settling for forcing them to do that with his new hypnotic powers. He's also really excited to go to this fairy ball, especially because he finally got the one thing that he wanted, which was Jonathan to give himself to him. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out so great for him because now he's just filled with this insatiable need to put someone in their place.
And that's definitely the generic someone anybody's available. Next, why don't we go to Leandro, who's playing Alice McBride, our surprisingly human and humane Hollow.
Oh, Alice just wants to be human. That's basically it. She wants to be her own person, because she's basically a replica or a recreation of another person, also named Alice McBride, who has fecked off from Kingsport because apparently, I don't know, Welsh sailors are cooler than Kingsport. So last session spent a lot of time, basically a lot of people telling her that she's important and special, and she doesn't really see that. She's a bit confused by that. That's kind of led Siobhan to kind of draw her closer to her. I was about to say spider web, but no, that's not dragony enough. Nest. Oh, nest. There we go. There we go. Lair. Oh, lair. There we go. Lair. And and well, she thinks she's. It almost feels like she's had like this. Alice has got a grip of herself, mainly because she's been talking to the one and only Emily Dickinson in and getting some like advice from her. But she's kind of caught in the game now because she got hypnotized by a certain Finch Greenwood, and now she's kind of trying to fight that. And she's kind of upset that everyone else seems to be like playing, mind games with each other, and she's just like, "What the hell is all this? This is all so much." Oh, poor Alice.
Well, I don't know. I've heard we're supposed to go ask Alice, which is funny if you are a Jefferson Airplane fan. And finally, Bethany, who is playing Helen, our witch.
Yeah, so Helen is the daughter of like weird bohemian starving artists. And her version of rebellion is to try to act, extra practical and adult, but she's not particularly good at it. She's the witch, but like I have not actually had a chance to use any of these spells or anything. I don't know what else. Let's see. Am I a good witch or a bad witch? I probably think I'm more of a bad witch than I actually am. But you know, I might be wrong or right about that. I think Helen is a person who, like, if this game had an alignment, would think of herself as true neutral and is actually neutral good, or possibly lawful good. So far,
Probably something like that. Cool. Right, well, maybe we'll get a chance and you can surrender Alice or something. uh, sorry. Don't think I'm not going to do that one day, huh? Huh? Kingsport like 1903. We'll just go full Frank Bomb on you guys. I'll do it. I'll do it. Cool. Uh, before we talk about relationships and stuff, hey, it's time for our safety discussion. We use the X card in Lines and Veils here. I'm sure you all know how to use the X card, which is why I will tell you anyway. We use the X card so that we can approach problematic content without actually having to get it into the game. So if anybody sees something that is not something they want in the game, just say X card or cross your arms or hit the roll for your party button and we'll stop. You don't have to tell us why, and we'll just figure out a way around it. Also, we have Lines and Veils going. We don't have a lot of those running, but we do have them. Right now, our lines are sexual assault and romantic coercion, which are good ones. And our veils are explicit child abuse and sex, which means that we're not going to have sexual assault or romantic coercion, but we can have child abuse and sex, but we're not going to show them in any detail. So cool. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Helen and Siobhan and whether or not they know each other that well or what. You are both in homeroom and sitting on opposite sides of the room.
Yeah, as far as the worm feelings, I definitely put Helen as currency because I don't think that they know each other well, or that I see you as a resource if I do know you.
okay. Yeah, I see. This is why I should have actually watched the session or last week's session. What would I'm okay with just like, yeah, not knowing each other very well. I don't know why, like, I think it's actually interesting. Like, why would these two people not know each other very well if they're like in this class together and they presumably like at least see each other a lot, but they never really talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean we're from vastly different social classes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a hoity-toity bitch. And yeah, maybe one of the reasons I see you more as currency is for the same reason that I think I saw Finch that way, because other really potent and strong types of people I kind of don't see myself needing.
Mm.
You know, I see them more as things to manipulate.
Cool.
Is there any sense too of that Helen has occult power and Siobhan doesn't want to deal with that, or?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because like the queen doesn't necessarily have like magic, and neither do the other two. That might be also a thing. Might not even be conscious, might just be like avoiding whatever that
Yeah,
is.
well, somebody had to go and do magic last week, so.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I'm trying to remember how this thing ended. I did listen to it, but I know that Finch and Siobhan are going to be headed to the Watkins place to hop a mirror to ferry. But I don't know what Alice is doing, and we have Helen now as a wild card. So maybe the thing to do is figure out what's going on with Helen and Alice, if there's a reason why those two would encounter each other. Is Alice walking sorrowfully home in the rain because it always rains on Alice?
Sure, why not? Let's just lean into the absolute crap darkness of her life. Someday I will play someone in Kingsport who's having fun. Someday. Then again, I'm playing the wrong game for that probably. But yeah, maybe she doesn't even maybe Siobhan even offered like, okay, when you can go home, you can take the carriage, and she just like no. Well, maybe that was an offer, but Alice just either forgot or ignored that, and just left as soon as the two of them went to the ferry ball. So she, I'd say she probably just have like her coat on and up, like a hood up, and she's cradling like, yeah, she doesn't even have an umbrella. And she, but kind of tucked underneath her arm is the music box that she got from Siobhan. It's like I forgot I decided on a two, and then I should have done that a week ago. But it is a small box that opens up, and there's like a woodcut of like a forest, opening to a forest, and she finds herself weirdly drawn to that. But yeah, so that's what Alice looks like just walking back home.
Wow. I feel like somebody should be playing the Charlie Brown music. Cool. So what's Helen up to this night since she apparently didn't get invited to any fancy balls?
Hmm. I kind of wanted to do something like, vaguely magical or witchcraft related, since I have didn't do any of that at all before. So Helen learned witchcraft from just a strange woman she ran into in the woods, whose name she still doesn't know, and so maybe she's like walking either to that site or back from it to like I don't know to do something that woman taught her, I guess.
That sounds fun. Because, certainly there's no chance at all that Alice would have anything to do with some strange wise woman who lives in the woods. That sounds like a place to start. You guys want to run into each other somewhere? Because Siobhan's house is somewhat out in the country anyway, so yeah, this could totally work.
Yeah, I'm down for that. And I think maybe like even subconsciously, Alice is kind of walking into the forest, I guess. I think it should be Alice kind of happening on whatever Helen is setting up in the forest. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Now I got to be doing something like extra weird and creepy, huh?
Yeah, go on.
God, let me look at the spells I actually have, and like it doesn't actually say what. Jonathan isn't in this session. And okay, did interact with Finch. Do I have anything from Finch? I do. Okay, cool. So this is just like, I don't have any real reason to be doing this except it's just practice. But you got to practice once in a while, keep your skills, sharp. So I am like sitting on a stump in the woods where I, used to meet this woman who like has not, like last time I was supposed to meet her, she just didn't show up. And then I went a few more times and she didn't show up. So I kind of concluded that like, she doesn't want to do this anymore, or she's dead, or I don't know. But I'm here, and I still come back here once in a while to practice. And I have this cameo that Finch dropped at some point, and then I picked up and kept. And I am going to cast a hex on Finch. If I can stop scrolling way off out of the way. Yeah, I'm going to cast Watching Hex. And to do that, I roll with dark. I don't think I'm all that dark. Do I have a dark? Oh, actually, I'm very dark. Okay, that's an 8.
Cool. So which one do you want for that? Because let's see. 7 through 9, it works, but to choose one, it causes you 1 harm, it has weird side effects, or it triggers your darkest self.
I mean, weird side effects, clearly.
Cool. Let me stick a pin in that. I think I would like to reveal the side effects, but
Okay.
it's quite possible that one of the side effects is Alice blunders into the clearing.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if like it somehow like draws Alice to this clearing, or like makes a noise or something that makes her curious about it. I don't know. Or it's raining and it's cold, and like somehow this clearing is a little bit warmer. But let's see. Yeah, so I yeah, I can actually be able to see this. I'm beginning to see the world through the eyes of the hexed. Oh, I have to be in a deep sleep to do this. Awesome. Yeah, so
It could be, that you're about to cast the hex, and we'll just keep the result. That's
okay.
This,
Okay,
this
that
is
works.
not a.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of difficult to have a conversation with Alice if the point is I'm asleep and like I should have read that.
No, it's totally okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing this and I'm like kind of saying some like embarrassingly rhymey spell under my breath, and it's a cameo, so I can't burn it, but maybe I'm like burying it in the dirt, in the rain. So that's really mud.
So I actually like this idea from the chat sidebar. I think you do. You're getting superimposed vision. Yeah. So while you're talking to Alice, you're also seeing Finch and Jonathan going at it.
Okay. Wow, yeah, that's not. I almost like want to just like close and close a mental door, but I don't know I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I have a mental door. So like I'm seeing this like kind of out of the corner of my eye almost. Great.
Cool. So why don't we cue Alice?
So what does Alice see? Like, is it just Helen in the dirt, kind of just seeing all that? Like, what does she look like on the outside?
I think she's just kind of like like kneeling on the ground and is like she's kind of like patting down the mud as if she's just planted like seeds or something, and like tries to brush the mud off her hands and stands up, and I think that's when she just like freezes because she's getting this image, and she's just like standing there looking really awkward, as if she were standing there in real life. She would look about that awkward.
Helen, is that you?
Oh, Alice, hi.
Hi. What what are you doing here?
Just
I mean, it's raining.
nature study. I was
Um, in the rain.
th- there are lizards that only come out in the rain.
Oh, okay. Um. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. this is gonna be weird. Uh, but are you busy?
No, and like this is what are you doing out here in the rain? And here, and I'm like look around, and I have an umbrella like just kind of folded up, and I also have a coat on. I'm like, take my umbrella or my coat, one or the other. I'm cold just looking at you.
Wait. She's gonna move to hug you.
That works too.
She's just hugging me tightly, and it's like,
Hey, what's wrong?
no. And once you say that, she breaks the hug. It's like, no, nothing's wrong. I don't need help. No, clearly, no, I don't need help. Forget I did that. No, nothing's wrong. Actually, no, nothing's
nothing.
No,
nothing's. You look very upset for nothing to be wrong.
Well, yes, I'm upset, but I don't need help with it. I'll deal with it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I mean, people always want to help me. I don't know why. I don't need help. What about you? Do you need help? I'm sure I can help.
It's nice. You're nice and people like you. That's why. I don't know why you're insulted by that.
That's... Yeah, you kind of have that. Thanks. I think when she say that, she kind of like... she wants to say something, but she can't because she says it. She's have to go someplace to some person, and then poor Helen doesn't know this.
I have a question. Was Helen making Alice feel beautiful there?
I don't know if I wasn't actually doing that with that move in mind, but now that I've remembered that I have it, yes, or I will continue to compliment her until I do.
Yeah, we can roll now. I mean,
Okay.
that is part of my job description is to watch for that sort of thing. So
cool. Yes. All right. I have yellow. 6 and 7.
cool. Well, you can tempt them to do what you want as if you had a string on them. So if you have anything you want Alice to do, I mean, it doesn't have to be devious. It could just be nice.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of secrets. I don't think I want to know everything about everybody. So I think I just want her to tell me what she's doing out here and what's wrong. And yeah.
So, okay, so you're tempting me. Okay, so is that like an experience point, kind of like we're putting a string?
It's the same as a string, yeah.
Cool. My ongoing crusade to accrue experience without rolling continues. So when she asked that, Alice looks like she's about to burst. She's like, okay, so I just came back from a party from Siobhan's house, and Finch was there, and Jonathan was there, and they I think they hooked up or something. I don't know. And then I thought Siobhan hated Finch, and turns out they're friends now, and it's also weird. I don't know. They're playing all these silly games, and they're all being friendly with each other, and I don't know what that's all about.
Finch and Jonathan, you say? I think I'm laughing like this in person too, or in character too, because it's like, yeah, I know, I can confirm that. Jonathan, yeah, I don't know. He's always had a fascination with Finch, I guess.
Is it a fascination? Maybe I thought like he was hypnotized or something, but I mean, Jonathan seems lovely, but really, Finch, Greenwood.
No, I completely agree. I don't know. I don't know what he sees. I don't know what he sees in Finch, but and sometimes I can never. I guess we have our answer now, but I could never tell if he was fascinated, like loathing, or yes. I guess we know now, right?
Yeah, no, he wrote this really nice poem for Finch, like an entire poem. It was cute, and it was directed at someone who did not deserve it at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just it. It almost has nothing to do with me. That's why I don't need your help. Don't worry about it, Helen.
Oh.
It was just a weird situation.
I don't know what I would do to help if I could.
No,
I don't know. I'm like
it's fine.
seeing this out of the corner of my eye. I don't want to. Okay, now that like I've heard this, it's even weirder. A poem, huh? Was
scared.
Was it good? Was it a good poem?
It was too good for its subject matter.
You sound like my dad. I think I've heard him say that. Yeah, only write poems for people who deserve it. But I can't write poetry anyway. So, people who deserve my poetry would be people I didn't think much of.
Wait, you write poetry?
Not in a long time because it was very bad.
Well, I still want. I don't know.
You?
That's only. I'm curious now. Really?
So you're just in the woods and you're just on your way home?
Yeah. I'm just on my way home. I don't have anything cool like rain lizards to look at. I'm trying to figure out what to do. It's a lot. I don't need help. It's fine. I'll take care of it.
Can I walk back to town with you at least? You'll be helping me as much as I'm helping you.
Okay. Yeah, that's. She's trying to think loopholes, whatever. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm helping you. You're not helping me. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you'll be helping me even more if you carry this umbrella for me.
Okay.
I think I don't understand this, but I think it's kind of a joke. I think so. I was just playing along, and yeah. So, did you ever pick a name?
Oh, sorry.
A name. You.
Oh.
Last time I talked to you, you said you didn't want to be Alice.
Oh my God. I've not actually even thought of that. There's just so much going on. I'm sorry. I feel like I failed after I talked all about all that nonsense.
You failed my homework assignment of finding a new name. I mean,
yeah.
These things take time. It was just a suggestion anyway.
Yeah. I think it was less like finding a name and more like just getting rid of this one. But I can't because I'm here. Everyone else knows Alice, except for me.
I've heard some. You mean that literally, don't you?
I think Alice's eyes kind of like widen a bit, and they kind of close as if she's kind of in pain. And she's like,
"I'm sorry.
No. It's fine. It's just, it's been so little people know, and that I just want to scream it out at the top of my lungs for all of Kingsport to hear. I'm not this person you think I am. I'm not her. And Could you please just let me go?
Why do you stay here then?
Because I have nowhere else to go. People want me here. People made me still here. And you think it'd be easy to just... Yeah, oh, sorry. Sorry?
I mean, they want you to be someone else, though.
They want me to be their Alice. Like, did you know Alice?
Not well. No better than I know you.
Apparently she was a
Well
good friend
enough
of
to know
Finch.
that you're
Okay.
a little different. But I thought you had just, people change.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess people thought that. I guess that's kind of true. I want to roll actually share your pain. I think I've been doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 12. Oh, you poor dear. All right. On a 10 up, choose 2. I'm going to remove shaken. Remove a condition. I'm going to remove that. It's been there since the first session. And I'm going to... Well, the only other option, because Helen doesn't have a condition, is take +1/4 towards helping myself. Because I don't want anyone else to help me at the moment.
I saw that. I was like, oh, wow, that's like... I take +1 forward to this thing you don't want me to do.
Yeah. I think when you mentioned I didn't know Alice was, I think this Alice kind of realized like, oh my god, here him again, talk about myself. Oh, it's just talking about myself. I'm sorry. It's
I don't know what happened to you, but I think I think if I were in your place, I'd do nothing else but talk about myself to find out. I don't know. Do you ever just talk about something so that you understand it? So you're teaching yourself about it.
only with this other lady, and that's because she doesn't know anything about me or Alice. Like, she's been wonderful and just smarter than I'll ever be, that's for sure. Other than that, everyone just wants to talk about me to me, I guess. And
Or do they want to talk about Alice to you, or about you to you?
maybe not right now. No, let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Again,
Yes.
this is Alice
Yes.
idea of flirting, and I'm going to roll what's hot right now, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Sorry, because I just realized in the last session I rolled once, or I don't think I even rolled at all, and like I'm gonna make up for that. Okay, that's a 13. Oh no, that's a 12. It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I'm turned on.
Take your string and choose your reaction.
Let me see. Oh, I would help if I had the thing open. Huh?
Oh, again, a string on
You get a string on me, yes. I don't remember off the top of my head what the options are. You'd think I would remember. Oh wow!
Do you?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna just read them to you if you got them up.
I mean, maybe I'll promise something I think you want.
Okay.
And I think you want someone to not think of you or treat you like Alice. So as we're walking, I don't use your name at all. And I think I just say it, like, I didn't know the other Alice. What happened to her, by the way?
Oh, she left.
Oh,
She wasn't even like, you think it'd be something mysterious, like, eaten by something in the woods or made a pact.
is
No, she
what I
just
was
left.
thinking, since we're walking through these woods right now in the dark and the rain. I know you're not her, and when you talk to me, you can be sure that I'm not talking to her. I'm talking to you.
I think Alice just says like, "Thank you very much," and I think she gives you. Can she give you a peck on the cheek?
Yeah.
Just a quick one. Yeah.
Given that every encounter Helen has had with Alice so far, Alice has succeeded in turning her on.
Suave. All right. Our other two have been extremely patient, and I know they're chomping at the bit. So you arrive at the old Watkins place. Yeah, normally you need the moonlight to strike the mirror in order to make it work, but you're not going to Amherst. So this will totally open up for you, you creature of myth and legend. So yeah, you're standing in front of the mirror, I guess.
Yeah, I think I just hold my hand out to Finch and say, "Shall we?"
My dear, I seem to feel as if I've had a joke played upon me because this does not seem like a fancy party.
Well, you'll have to trust me for space of a moment.
He like, are you trying to take his arm, or are you trying to have him take your arm?
I'm trying to take his arm.
Okay, so he sighs and steps forward and holds his arm out for you to loop through, and just stares at his reflection. You notice he fixes his collar again. Keeps doing that.
All right, 2 steps forward.
And no steps back, hopefully.
And so we step, you are surprised, I guess, as we actually step through the mirror.
Shooketh.
Shooketh.
So, yeah, once again you find yourself in that little antechamber with other doors and no door behind you, of course, because that's just how this works. And the shaved orangutan stuffed into evening clothes with the cake knife stuck in his sash looks up. He's just rolling a cigarette when you guys walk in. It's like, jeez, gotta go to work. Greetings, I am Barblau. I am the door warden. Oh, hey, Siobhan.
Hello.
Why, is that Finch Greenwood?
It is indeed.
Are you bringing him to be to come to the party?
I am actually bringing him to come to the party.
Finch catches that and looks at you and says, what was he going to say?
I really don't know for sure. Quick question. Coming here with Finch doesn't... What does that mean exactly? We weren't totally clear the last time I was here.
Well, you get to go into the party. The party. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And leave together.
That's more up to you guys.
Okay, great.
I'm just the door warden. I let people in.
Okay, great. As long as that's all that means.
Yeah, you'll be fine, kid. There's nothing dangerous behind that door.
Well, that's double talk if I ever did hear it.
Yeah, I'm actually just trying to reassure you, but Was it working? I'm not good at reassuring humans.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Luckily, neither of us are easily frightened or timid creatures.
No, certainly that is true.
Well, we'll just see about that, mortals. Please, entrez. Je vous prie d'entrer.
Merci beaucoup.
I see.
Uh-huh. Have fun storming the castle, kids.
So, what's on the other side of the door?
A mad riot. In the center of the room, sitting on a throne, is what looks maybe sort of like a fat prince of some kind. Think Oscar Wilde, completely stoned out of his gourd, but somehow crossed with the DNA of Shelley's Ozymandias. You know, the fierce brow of command.
Cool.
Wheeling around him are people in all sorts of different clothes from various different historical periods, and some are quite outlandishly not human. And around them in a ring are a series of pipers dressed in medieval clothes, and they are putting up some kind of whirling, skirling, vaguely Celtic sounding hornpipe or something. The music is very hard to follow, and yet you find yourself moving with its rhythm.
So, quick do's and don'ts. You can speak to anyone, but don't make any promises, and don't eat or drink anything.
Ah, so those fairy tales that we heard when we were children are not so fictional after all.
A lot of times, I think those things are meant as really oblique warnings that are mostly useless because they're couched in a bunch of nonsense.
Well, duly noted. But Siobhan, I must say, you truly did deliver the most astonishing party. I didn't quite believe you.
You know, I wasn't entirely sure I believed myself. Part of me wondered if we would step through the door and just immediately be eaten, but so far so good.
Well, I'm certainly glad that didn't happen.
Me too.
We look much too good to just be devoured outright. They should savor us.
Like a long drink of scotch.
Mm. And
Speaking of which,
exquisite dessert.
She pulls a flask out of her bag. We can't drink their drinks.
Ah. He like twirls it off and he like takes a swig and like breathes out. Like it's probably much like stiffer than he was expecting. And it's like, oh wow.
Oh yeah, I made sure that I brought the strong stuff because I didn't know how many hours or days would be
Well, you know, they don't call it the water of life for nothing, right?
here.
So cool. I actually have a move here that you may perform if you wish to dance and gyre to the skirling, whirling, vaguely Celtic pipe music.
Yes, please.
Sure.
What stat does they use?
Well, if you decide to listen to the whirling, skirling Celtic pipe music and dance around to it, you may take soul debt and only one bargain from the Infernal Playbook. If you do, then I'll ask you to roll dark. If you don't, that's fine, but when you tear yourself away from the music, it will cost you 2 harm.
Oh, we're dancing.
Oh, we're dancing.
Very good. Roll dark, both of you.
Oh no. I got a 3.
Nice. I got a 12.
Not
So, let me just make a little note here on my NPC roster. The dark power.
Now I have to go find the infernal.
So, Siobhan, you got a 10. You only get 1 string held against you by the dark power. Finch, you failed, so I'm going to do the 3 that was the 7 to 9 result and make a move because that's fun.
I'm gonna take a bargain.
Yep. So while you're dancing around, Siobhan, I would say that since you, after all, are kind of among people that you're kind of adjacent to, this isn't nearly as bad for you.
Yeah.
But poor Finch, he's just caught up in this. real bad. And as you're watching, he's just getting more and more glassy-eyed, and until suddenly this woman in a long black Civil War era dress shows up next to you. Anyway, so it's got the big hoop skirt, which is not what is in fashion in the 1880s. And she's smoking it, but she's smoking a cigarette on a long holder. And she's also would be unusual for northern circles in that you can't really place what exactly her race would be. It's sort of indeterminate. But she has long black glossy hair, and she just looks over you and says, "Darling, I do believe your date is in a spot of trouble, don't you think?"
And I think the longer I spend in the Fae party, the more sort of reptilian I look. Like the same way that unicorns, when they cross over into Fae, are just unicorns. I just look more and more draconian. Um, and I stop dancing and find Finch.
Say, why don't I take you to a more suitable party? This sort of engagement is not easy for, mortals.
Will we be able to leave that party?
What is it that Barbara always likes to say? Well, you had the power to leave all along, love.
Yes, that might be good. Someplace quiet for him.
Yes, I think we can manage that.
Finch, darling.
And then Finch kind of looks at you and like his pallor is like he's like sheet white, and if anything, he looks like he's like thinned out already, as if he's just kind of wasting things. He's like, I'm having such a lovely time.
Oh, I'm sure you are, sweetheart. We're gonna take you someplace a little quieter, okay?
But the party, it's at the dancing and the music.
We're gonna go to a different party.
Oh, that sounds nice. Let's go there.
All right, cool. So, the woman conducts you to a heavy door against one wall, and she sort of bends over and studies. There's an elaborate array of dials and gears and clockworks on it. She spins a bunch of them and goes, "Yes, I think that's appropriate." Opens the door and ushers you through. And you find yourself in Watkins' house, but does not look like the Watkins house you left. For one thing, there's a big party going on. For another thing, everybody is dressed in the fashions of 20 years ago. For a third thing, there's a big Happy New Year 1864 hanging from the ceiling.
Oh. Huh.
For a fourth thing, there's plenty of guys walking around in Union Army uniforms, and on their arms are, of course, women dressed in the appropriate clothing. And there's several African American people wandering around too. And if you look again, looking further around, there's a big sign hanging out that says something to the effect of Kingsport Abolition Society Annual Ball.
Okay.
Are
Well,
we at a costume party?
sort of. Why don't you sit down, darling?
Yes. I think I'll get some punch. Would you like some punch? I'd like some punch.
How about you have some of the punch we brought with us?
Oh, yes, the rules. Good thing you reminded me.
So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's plenty of people milling about.
Right. Not freaking out at all. Totally fine.
Did
Totally fine.
the woman come through with us, or did she?
Yeah, she's mingling.
Well, have you ever wondered anything about the Civil War?
Not quite. I like to leave the past in the past. But apparently it's not leaving us in the future. So.
Are you feeling any better?
Yes, actually, it's almost as if I feel practically myself again, and like even his face like fills back out to not be in the fairy realm anymore. It's like, oh, I certainly didn't like that.
Well, it has special properties, and I didn't think about what it would do to someone that is fully human.
And you're not fully human. That's right.
Not precisely, no. Did you want to go home, or do you want to speak more with our hosts?
I mean, a party is a party, and this is quite the story.
Well then, let's mingle.
So, do you know the woman in the big fancy dress?
She feels familiar, but I don't know her personally. I made
Well,
sure we were safe enough to leave that place because I felt like you probably wouldn't want to leave the party quite this early.
I do appreciate your sense of propriety. Can't leave a party too early. Look at that.
No, what would people say? Of course, with parties like these, sometimes it's a week later when you get home, but should be
The
fine.
best parties often take that long.
Should we dance?
Yes, but to a more tepid rhythm, I should think. I'm still not quite myself.
That seems very wise. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to sort of accidentally roll to turn on because I think dancing with Siobhan is an experience. Just gonna see what happens. What's my hot? I always forget what my hot is.
It's a -1 like
Oh,
mine.
it's a -1.
We have like the same stat block.
Yeah, right? I roll a 6. Not ideal.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, you are thrown slightly because you're not familiar with the dances that well, because they're doing, Civil War group dances.
Right.
So you're kind of surprised when the couples break up into different pairings than what you started with. And so, Siobhan, you're dancing with a guy in an officer's uniform. He's like, "Excuse me, are you Antonia Hunter? You have the Hunter look on your face."
Oh, I believe we are distantly related.
Oh, well, I'm pleased to meet you. My name's Colonel Fairchild. Percival Fairchild. Just call me Percy.
I believe I've heard your name.
Well, this is sort of my shindig.
It is indeed. Tell me, Colonel, do you have any interest in education?
You know, I've often thought that education is going to be the key to the true liberation of the freedmen. It's my firm intention that once I join my regiment, that as we move south to found schools, if only we could rely on the quality of pedagogy.
I think that you very much can, and I also think that's a lovely idea.
Well, thank you, Miss Hunter. I suppose you'd be expected to be in sympathy, and I must say, what a remarkable ensemble you're wearing. Is this the new Paris fashions? I'm afraid we're a little behind times.
Oh, you know me. My family always has to be slightly ahead of the pace.
Oh, quite. And see, Finch. As you're dancing down the line, you see coming through the door that guy you met in the clearing in the woods, and on his arm is a early 30s woman, maybe, with red hair, wearing a formal dress but looking a little uncomfortable in it. But she's also clearly got like huge saucer eyes looking around at everything that's going on around her.
I think I quietly cut out of the line and work my way around the room and slip up behind him. Not behind them, but I go and I kind of very kind of like amiably introduce myself, and because I assume that he'll probably recognize me. We'll see if that's true.
Okay. Cool. So as you edge up, he's talking with the woman, and she nods and like heads over to the punch station. And all of a sudden, someone steps in front of you wearing this long red dress. It's like, Finch Greenwood, as I live and breathe.
My name is known to you, but surely not yours to me.
Yes. Finch, my darling, would you like to do me a favor?
I think that I'm so sorry. I see someone that I wanted to say, I wanted to greet, but
Oh, is it that dowdy little redhead thing?
you mean the gentleman over there with the
Oh,
red hair?
well, you don't really want to talk to him. What's he going to tell you? Is he going to he'll have to recognize you and then pretend he doesn't recognize you and go, oh, well, however did you get here, Finch? And then you'll be like, oh, I don't know. I came here with my crazy friend Siobhan. And then he'll be like, you know Siobhan? And then we'll go through this thing and it'll take forever and it'll be stupid. It'll be stupid because you won't actually be able to explain what really happened, which is you're here and I knew you were coming.
I find myself in awe of your intellect, madam. Perhaps you'll tell me how the rest of the story goes.
The rest of the story is you go up and you talk to that little redheaded thing, and you keep her away from our friend, your little woodsman friend, and then we'll see how that goes. Because my favor, Finch Greenwood, has long been respected among your family. Now I can do things for you unto the furthest generation. Why, you never know what 100 years from now one of your descendants will have need of. I mean, I do, but you don't.
I must confess, madam, I find myself at a loss considering that gentleman over there has made similar promises.
Well, he'll claim that he can give you the power to take the thing you want, right? That was his pitch. That's all very nice and good, but Finch, you already have that power. So he's kind of just selling you an empty envelope with your name on it. But me, for I am a far more generous person. One might say I even have a sort of magisterial or even, shall we say, royal generosity. I'll just straight up give it to you.
I think that should you be able to deliver on that promise forthright, I could be compelled to entertain that woman over there for the remainder of my time in this time.
I suppose I don't need to remind you, Finch Greenwood, that promises are important. Promises must be kept, and justice must be done. That is correct, isn't it?
That is certainly a very black and white way of looking at things, but not far removed from the truth, I suppose.
And what would you do if one of your little coterie made a promise and then they reneged?
Oh, they wouldn't remain in my coterie very long.
And what would you do if it was your dear, beloved spouse that reneged, all for the sake of someone not worthy of even considering?
So then all of a sudden, like, Magnus flashes in my head and like that vision of him and Jonathan together. And I think, I see what you mean. I would think that someone who would break such a promise as that and would disrespect the things that you've very obviously given them should very much be punished forthright.
Well then, Finch Greenwood, let me suggest that you be the instrument of my royal vengeance and break her.
So long as you deliver upon me the boon that you promised.
And what boon would that be, my dear, dear boy?
Out of character, can I propose a stat swap?
Oh, yes, you may. You may indeed, my friend.
Alrighty, yeah. In character, I seem to have an error that people find rather unappealing. And if you could perhaps see it in a way to grease my tongue so that I might charm the deer, I think that I'd find that infinitely more useful in this life.
Finch, are you saying that you want me to melt that black heart of yours and make it bloom warm and beautiful and red? Well, my love, you've come to the right person for that. Am I not the Queen of Hearts?
Indeed, you are.
Consider it done, my dear boy. But we both understand each other about what happens when we renege, don't we? There are many instruments in my vengeance as well. Some of them may have come here with you.
I take a moment to glance over at Siobhan.
Now, tougher now, my dear boy. I think we will. I think you will discover that you and I are so far more aligned in our outlook and instrumentality than waistcoat over there.
I chuckle at that and I look over at Siobhan, and I'm not quite ready to throw her completely aside, but I see that there are more powerful allies to be had. So
Excellent. Cool. This actually feels like a good place to take our break. So why don't we do that and come back in a few and just wonder about who's going to be vengeancing upon who. All right. I'll see you all shortly.
I caught the name Fairchild, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
the name of our school.
Yes, so it's named after the Civil War hero, Colonel Percival G. Fairchild.
Oh, I forgot that was the name of our school. I just heard Fairchild. It's like, oh wait, yeah, that reference.
Yeah, I just remembered it because it's a reference to my unicorns family. So like, it stuck in my head.
The G stands for Galahad.
Of course it does. Oh my god.
Wait, it's a Fairchild family. I mean,
Yeah. It's funny because I'm rewatching Babylon 5, and I just watched one of the very Arthurian episodes. So I'm feeling the Galahad thing right now. It's great.
I really need to get around to watching that. I've been doing a Venture Brothers rewatch, which is a completely different thing. Cool. So I feel like we should probably check back in on regular Kingsport, not Kingsport 1864. You wait. That may be a thing. Yeah. So what's going on with our happy couple? What are you guys doing? Where are you guys headed to?
Did you want to do anything else in the forest? I could have been. Wait, that could have been phrased better.
like yes, but
I think, yeah. Well, if you want to, like, I think the justification for this is Alice is basically going like, okay, we enough talking about me. Yeah, let's talk about something else. Like, what have you been doing? What are these rain lizards you're interested in?
I they live in the ground and they
Really?
yeah, they come out when it rains. They lay eggs in little hollows in the ground, and then the water comes up and the eggs hatch.
Okay. What are you? So I'm just thinking, like, in contrast to the other conversation.
Well, I want to teach science classes, and I thought I should learn some things on my own.
What? And As is like, rain lizards. Okay. I think And he's just like, well, okay. That is that why you want to become a teacher? Just I've never really thought why people want to become teachers.
I well, it's not so much wanting as it's there aren't very many options, and of all the topics I could teach, science is the most appealing.
Okay. Uh sorry, I was about to talk about myself again. Sorry. Um
You're
no, we're not. No.
I don't mind.
No, but we need to get away from that. No, actually, you know when I asked you a couple of days ago what you want? Bit of a
Yeah,
big question, but did you figure that out as well?
not yet.
Well, you just said you want to learn science. You can teach it.
It's I suppose I do. Yeah.
No, see, if Alice was more confident, she'd put a hand on your shoulder and go, "Tell me about science." But instead, she's stammering.
And Helen is very glad that she didn't, because she's totally lying about the lizards.
What actually? Yeah, I'll ask you, Claire Bethany. What did you want to do in the forest? So we can.
I was actually kind of joking when I said that. But
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like there should be. Oh well. I assume there will be the side effects will be coming along soon. So I think, like, well, just let me walk you home, and I think I'm going to try to get Alice to talk about herself more.
So I have a question. Are you still seeing through Finch's eyes?
I don't know. Doesn't
'Cause the
really
side
like
effect
say how
was
long it lasts.
the side effect was superimposition of vision. So,
Oh wow! If I'm still seeing, then yeah, I think maybe it blinks in and out. So like when I'm not, it's a relief, and I can talk normally, and I'm not distracted by like things moving out of the corner of my eye. But then like it comes back, and suddenly I get really quiet, and like you can see my eyes move like, and because like whatever, there's probably that dance right now, or I don't know.
that sounds, yeah, probably that is about when it would be. Yeah, so how's that treating you?
It's disorienting, and when it's there, I don't think I talk much, and that's I want Alice to talk about herself, first of all, because Alice seems to have a secret, and that just can't stand. And second, because like I cannot carry on an intelligent conversation while it's like having multiple televisions with different loud programs on at the same time while also trying to have a conversation with someone. I think that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah, I think like once we're emerging out of the woods, I've been trying to get you to talk more about these rain lizards, but it's I think yeah the stammering is because you're seeing everything else.
Yeah.
Were you gonna make a roll when you said you wanted to get Alice to talk about herself?
Yeah, I don't know what I would roll for that. Let me see. It's not quite turn someone on. Maybe it is.
It could just be offer a string.
I don't have a string.
You have 2 tokens.
I have tokens, yeah, but
Did they wear the strings?
Oh wait, I guess offer a string means that like she gets a string on me, right? Not that I get rid of a string.
You spend the string to offer her an XP.
Oh, okay. So I have no strings on her.
Well, I thought tokens counted as strings.
Oh, did it?
Yes,
Okay.
you
Oh,
spent your go
perfect.
spring, yes.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So, I have this bag that I'm carrying that had Finch's cameo and has both of the things of Alice's that I have. One of which she knows I have, and one she doesn't. And I think, well, if it stops raining, or I take the book that she gave me out, and it's like, I have your book. I read it. It's very it's fascinating. Do you? I've never heard of the. I don't know. I'm trying to like. Well, if she won't talk about herself, maybe she'll talk about this book.
Check something when this book was published. Hmm. Ah, yeah, it was published around this time. Um, yeah, this book. You can see. I think I was kind of like, oh, yeah, that, because she kind of realized the implications of it, and she kind of takes the book and it's kind of distracted flipping to it, and oh man, yeah, it's, I don't know why it's kind of fascinating, this story about this man creating life, um, and that that life kind of like not I guess now since you know about me, it kind of makes a lot more sense, does it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it does. Is is that what happened to you? That doesn't
I
sound like
don't,
it. It doesn't sound right, but
not exactly, but I mean, you don't someone must have, right?
yeah,
Like someone here or there must have found someone's wish and dreamt me up, right?
yeah. How, who,
But
who could have done that? Who
I don't know, but I'd
can
want to
do
meet.
that?
I don't know, but I like to meet them.
I
Hopefully, I
would
don't.
too. I think,
You would
of course.
really, but this she doesn't know why you'd care. That thing that's there right now. That's why she's stammering.
I think that they, um, you may not be a perfect imitation, but I think that whoever this person is must be a great artist or a genius.
She's Alice is blushing at that. But she's kind of like, I mean, are you? And I think she kind of realizes what you're offering, and she's kind of like, but wait, no, I'm sorry, I don't need help. I told you this already. I don't. I really.
I was I thought I was asking to tag along.
Oh, okay. Wait, really? Okay, okay. Just
If you don't mind,
no. Sure, yeah, no. I I didn't even. Okay, are you sure? I don't want to drag you into something weird. I mean, you
I would
just.
love to be dragged into something weird. There was weird things are happening here, and I I think it's better to know about them than to have them going on and not knowing. And Besides, how can you not want to know?
She kind of looks at you like, what? I guess, but then she sounds kind of like, okay. I'll accept that, I guess. And can I? It's cold. Can I hold your hand? Is that okay?
Of course, yes.
I mean, we probably shouldn't be doing this now, but I guess we can go into the woods and see what's there.
Is that where you came from?
I think so.
Show me. I absolutely will follow you.
Okay.
You can like take my hand and just pull me along. I'll go.
Yeah, I think definitely Alice does that, and she's got, I think in her hands, the music box and this kind of tattered copy, just so I can say it to the readers. Yeah, no, yeah, it is a tattered copy of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, clearly. Hopefully, she doesn't end up meeting her maker and then killing each other, but
I suppose now's the time we should answer some questions about what do you remember about being born?
Alice's very first memory is just walking out of the forest. She's dressed like Alice McBride, and waiting at the forest, at the edge of the forest, is her sister Eliza. And she just greets Alice as if she'd just been lost and was like, "Oh, my dear sister, you've been lost for so long. Here, let me take you home." And there was maybe a day or two of I was kind of like half remembering, half not remembering the other Alice's memories, and Eliza kind of coaching her to be like, "No, this is what you do. This is this is how you are. This is how this these people. Yes, Alice. Yeah, you know these people, right? You know Father. You know Finch and Siobhan. You know." And Alice kind of being, "Yeah, yes," and then kind of like muddling along for that. I think that's her very first memory. Do you need more?
Huh. Just out of the woods, huh? Okay. Cool. Tell me more about this lady in the woods you know, Helen.
I don't know a lot about her. I don't know her name. I don't know if I ever asked her for her name. I think actually no. What I did is I like tried to get it out of her in various ways, but I never directly asked, and she never like yeah, she never gave it to me. But I think I just I don't know, I was just walking. It was a nice day, not raining, and I came across her where she was doing something similar to what I was just like doing. This is the Alice stumbling across Helen in the woods is kind of a mirror image, I think, of what happened. And I just stood and watched, and once she noticed I was there, it was almost as if she was about to hit me or throw something at me, and then she stopped and told me to come over and look at what she was doing. And
Okay. So, you do know where you're gonna have to end up getting to in the woods, don't you? You gotta go near the vicinity of Dunwich. So I'm gonna let you think about that for a sec. And meanwhile, in 1864. So tell me, what are you two doing at this New Year's ball?
I'm gonna make a beeline for that redheaded lady.
Seems fair to me. Okay, cool. Um, she's just sort of standing in the corner, looking around, uh, waiting for Punch. She's like needing her reticule, like she doesn't know what to do with it.
I kind of glide in, and I feel like this overwhelming charm that I don't quite feel that I had before. And I slide up. I comfortably walk up to her and I say, "Good meeting, Miss. How are you enjoying the festivities this evening?"
Well, I'm really not quite sure. Where is this place?
You're in beautiful Kingsport. Are you perhaps not from here?
No, Kingsport. That's near Beverly, right?
Yes. Yes.
Huh. I don't see how I could be in Kingsport. That's halfway across the state. Huh.
Where do you think you are, my dear?
No, I believe you. This must be Kingsport. It says Kingsport Society there, so unless this is some elaborate prank, I have no reason to doubt that I am in Kingsport. I find the methods most miraculous. Are you from Kingsport? You seem somewhat outlandishly dressed, though. I suppose, as I am wearing this gown, I should not perhaps speak about what other people are wearing.
I look down at my frock, which admittedly is much more fanciful than everyone else, and also realize that like the Civil War is still happening and things are probably a little bit more tied up. So I say, "Oh yes, this is the look of Paris. I like to keep ahead of the times, as it were."
No, I've never been to Paris.
So you really should come sometime. It's quite fun.
I'm sure my father would not have the time to send us abroad, and I've been to Boston. I have a friend who lives in Philadelphia, though he's moving across the country.
That is, those are both beautiful cities. Boston, especially, is near and dear to my heart.
Yes, my Aunt Lavinia lives there, or lived there.
Oh, have you experienced a loss?
My dear boy, I've experienced quite enough loss, I think, for any one lifetime, and mine is not even half done.
I fear that is the story for all of us. This war is taking quite the toll, isn't it?
I suppose, yes. No one in my family is involved in that. I suppose that's fortunate.
Oh, so thankfully you still have your mother and father at home.
Yes, my mother and father, and my brother and my sister.
A large family. You must cherish them deeply.
Not so large. We're fortunate we all survived.
Well, my dear, what would you say to accompanying me for a turn on the dance floor?
Well, you're such a young beau to come and pay attention to an old spinster like me.
Spinster? Hardly. And I lean in a little bit and I smile. And
I know you're just bursting with excitement to do this, so go
oh
ahead.
my god, it's what?
What-
It's still 5. It's still 5.
Excuse me. What did you take? What did you take?
I swapped my dark and my hot, so I got that.
Yeah,
part.
but a larger question. Which bargain did you take?
Oh, I didn't even grok that. So,
Because there is one.
it's gonna be the power that flows through. Yeah, we're doing it.
That's fantastic. That's gonna give me 4 strings on you, which would put you in your darkest self. But already
Alrighty.
there. But expect me to come a calling.
They're here for that.
Cool. Yeah, so that's a 7 to 9. She says, well, I suppose very well. I can't say that I know the dances very well. I can play music, but I'm not really up on dancing to it. I mean, not anymore. When I was younger, I went to the ball sometimes.
My dear, I think you need simply follow my lead.
Oh, jeez. Fair enough. Yep, sure. Okay. So this is happening. Siobhan, what's going on with you?
I think I have also taken several turns on the dance floor. And have been just sort of watching what Finch is up to, just to make sure that he doesn't get into any trouble. And I think when he's done talking to the lady, not the redheaded lady, but the Fey Queen, I swing over to her with a drink in one hand, with a drink for her in one hand, and stop sort of breathless next to her and say, "A drink, my lady."
Don't put too much confidence in your neutrality, Hunter.
Now, whoever said I was neutral?
You haven't taken a side yet, have you? Or have you?
I mean, I'm only on the side of one thing.
What's that, my dear?
What's mine?
Have you ever considered taking service with one of the courts? You'd fit right in.
You know, perhaps one of these days I'll get bored and do just that. Wouldn't it be nice to have me on your side when that happens?
If you're bored, my dear, I can arrange to make your life very interesting.
I feel as though I could probably do the same for you.
Don't give yourself too many airs. It's true. There's blood that flows through your veins that I am bound to respect, but do not think that mortality does not rust your bones at the same rate.
That's until I choose something better for myself now, isn't it?
Well, now, if that's what you're in the market for, then my emporium is frequently open to your kind.
So I've heard. And you know, I can't say the idea doesn't intrigue me. I would only ask one thing at this time.
What would that be, my beloved, darling, dearest one?
And she like leans very close and sort of breathes slight smoke at you and says, "Leave what's mine alone." And glances meaningfully at Finch.
Oh, but Finch can be free to choose what service he enters. I mean the boy no harm. He's quite useful. Why
I
do you
know.
think we've both come for him?
You have so many things, and I so few, my lady. Would you begrudge me this one?
Would you prefer to make a swap straight up? I can definitely find you a few things. I might have a few lying around. Are you interested in a red cap? Because I gotta tell you, that guy's ticking me off constantly.
No, from what I hear, they're more trouble than they're worth.
Yeah. He's got to watch himself because I am known to think up creative punishments.
So I have heard. But honestly, if you want me looking your way when the time comes for me to make my choices, you'll leave what little belongs to me. To me.
Rather than he has promised to do service for me, and I have already paid him. And when I pay for something, it stays bought, my dear.
You know, I really should pick more intelligent treasures, shouldn't I?
Well, you like that, I guess you call her Alice.
Oh, she is dear, isn't she?
She's something, all right.
Well, then I suppose he'll fulfill his bargain with you and then hopefully not enter into another one before I'm through.
Yes, well. What can I say? Humans don't like to think that they are bound by strings of fate, and yet here you all are, my little marionettes dancing around at my whim. My dear boy Finch is very, very far in our debt right now.
I thought you'd only asked him to do one thing.
Well, it was sort of an open-ended agreement. We'll see how it goes.
Excellent, good.
Or did you not feel some sudden surge of power as you stood and listened to the whirling pipes? Be be happy, mortal. Be happy that you saw that with face sight. If you had seen what that room really contained, well, you wouldn't have become more powerful. Unless madness is a power, for the Fae it is. So,
I am suddenly more nervous than I was a few minutes ago, but I guess I should have expected that in speaking with you.
yes, you really should. You're still so very new at this. I do so enjoy when your kind comes into their own. They think that they can come and reclaim their ancient heritage. Oh, look at me. I will spread my wings and sit upon a pile of my own treasure.
That is the way of things.
You want to be in a story, you have to write yourself into it. And there are rules to fit into the stories. Why do you think ballads are rhymed in a rather strict form, too? Don't make your stanzas jump their rhythm, dear. Consult a poet if you can.
I think I'll do just that. Thank you for the instruction, lady.
I'm trying to think, was anybody shut down there? Or was it
I
just,
don't think so. I think we
yeah, it was just half court.
it was just fencing.
Yeah, insult horse.
And I think she spins off to go talk to Finch and Emily.
Cool. Cool. Okay. So, Into the Woods is both a musical and the theme of Alice's Night.
I was actually thinking just so we can bring the mechanics back in. Maybe as Alice is trying to like piece her way through the woods, so to speak. Maybe I should roll. I should gaze into the abyss, just to.
That does sound exactly what you should do. Yes.
Yes. So I think. Well, what I'm looking for is I guess. Yeah, I'm looking for where I came from. I guess specifically where, not who. I don't know if they're still in the woods. No, that's a 10. So
Perfect. Yeah, that is good. Yep. So you'll get your +1 forward, and the visions are lucid. Cool. You have a vision of a hill that stands out of the forest, so that its peak is stripped of trees, and it's just grassy. And on top of it are some old standing stones, and you find yourself drawn there.
God damn it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm holding on Helen's hand, and I think when I get this vision, it's like my movement just becomes kind of more robotic and more forward, I guess, and I'm almost dragging Helen, if that's okay, towards this hilltop.
Um,
Oh God.
so we can see the hilltop and the stones from here.
I think it doesn't take, well, it takes a little while because it's a fairly significant walk, but yeah, eventually you will see it austere in the moonlight as the clouds have rolled back.
Yeah, I think I'm just like, I had no idea this was here. This is this where you came from? Either way, we should check. We should look. It's
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let Helen kind of Potter was kind of just staring at these stones and at this site, just kind of like not saying anything as Helen's looking over to all this.
I wonder what where these came from. Who put them here? This is. It almost reminds me of something, but I don't know what. It's very strange.
Yeah.
So you're on top of the hill looking at the stones, is the impression I'm getting? Cool. So yeah, when Helen says that, you hear a voice behind you, a harsh male voice goes, "No one knows who put them up. They were put up by the old ones."
Turn around and who do I see?
You see a middle-aged guy who looks kind of like a farmer. He's got a big bushy brown beard and he's wearing a slouch hat. But he's also wearing like a black frock coat, and he has the air of either a cracked professor of occult literature or some kind of backwoods preacher, or maybe both.
I think I'm looking at this guy and it's kind of like, I suppose you're here to regale us of the story of these stones, or you're here for something else?
Why would I tell the likes of you the story of these stones? Oh, no, no, girls. I'm up here wondering what you're doing in my place. Wondering whether or not you should leave this hill alive.
I think I was kind of like, just depends on your definition of alive, I suppose.
Are you cracked, girl? Bandering words like that about with me?
I think I kind of like edge in between them a little bit. Like, let's Alice. Sorry. Let's go.
I think Alice is kind of like looking past Helen, and it's like, well, I'm sorry, good sir, but cracked is all I've ever been. That's all I am. I'm sorry if you find my nature disquieting.
Cracked. Don't take titles to yourself if you don't deserve them, girl. There seems something familiar to you about you to me.
It's not a matter of what's deserved, good sir, but what's been foisted upon you. If I could have any other title, it would be something else. But cracked is what I am. Not that what I've chosen, but what I am.
What drew you to this place? No one trespasses here.
What I am, good sir, is pain. Pain has an element of blank. Cannot recollect when it began, if there were a day when it was not. But I'd hope otherwise. And I'd hope this place would give me that.
You talk as strange as my Lavinia. Interesting. It's her mother that taught her to talk that way.
I think I was kind of like, just sighs at that, and kind of looks at Helen, and she's like, you should go. I said, I asked for no help.
I'm not being much help right now.
No, Helen, you should go.
I don't recall bidding either of you two to go. Do you think that you can come off of Noah Watley's hill without Noah Watley's leave?
That depends on who Noah Watley is, then.
Why, I'm Noah Wiley. I'm the cracked old sorcerer of Dunwich Town. Ain't you never heard of me, girl?
I'm sorry. I'm ignorant in many, many ways of the world, I suppose. What's the procedure then? In meaning Noah Watley.
Why you came back up here? Why are you here? What drew you here? That's what I want to know, girl.
I I
Go on.
I drew her here. I asked her to show me.
I'm thinking about what? Oh God.
Mm-mm.
No, go on. No, all right. I'm letting you go on. You can do horrible things.
All in good time.
I think yeah, when Helen says that, I was kind of shoot her look. It's like, I told you should go now. This is don't. I led her here. I dragged her here. She has nothing to do with this. She just wanted to tag along. I came here because of me, because I'm looking for where I came from. If there's even such a place like that. And whatever fashioned me led me here, apparently.
Fashioned. So you are not a natural born creature.
Most days I would think that unnatural, but you're right. That's who I am. Not of this earth.
Thems ain't many what has the knowing of doing that, something like that. It's a powerful work of sorcery. Ah. Tell me, girl, while you're thinking those pathetic little hexes in your head right now, you learned them from someone, didn't you? You had a chance encounter in these woods. Am I wrong?
And like, yeah, I just kind of give up the thought of what I was planning to do, and no, you're not wrong.
Well, in Dunwich, we've had our fair share of sorcerers, but we've had more than our fair share of witches. You marry into a witching family because you hope some of that will rub on you, and it does. It does, though. Lavinia's going to be a disappointment in that regard. I have come upon other plans for her. She will be very important. She will be the mother of great things. But as for you, you must have met my wife. It's going to need to be a punishing for this. But that's not for you to accept. You had no idea what you were getting when you met her. And I can only assume that you were pulled into this world by that same witch of a wife of mine. So the question remains now, what should I do with the two of you who have come here and sullied the holy place?
You're what now? No, I have to say that no to Helen. No, I think here talks of witching. She's just like she looks at you and says, "What witch? What witchery? What witchcraft? What's he talking about?"
Gotta tell you later.
We are in a bit of a spot, I guess.
He's
I think. Oh, are you gonna do something?
I I think I kind of. Where is your wife?
My wife is at home, where she belongs, taking care of our girl.
Then we would like to meet her. Clearly, our business is with her and not with you.
What is it that you wish to know?
I wish to simply gaze upon my maker.
No, you just still don't understand, girl. My wife was but midwife. You think that you think the powers of that could do something like pull you into breathing air in space? Something that a mere human could do? No. Now, what greater purpose you serve here, I don't know. There have been others like you of varying different provenances.
I was just gonna act really recklessly, but she's just gonna say, "Then fine. Then if not her, then whatever it is that pulled me into air. I don't care. I just want to know."
I'm gonna.
I'd like to see her anyway. Just to see an old friend.
So let me to understand. You come a barging on my land, no invite. You come to the holy place. Then you demand from me to see my traitor wife so that you can have a chat. Shall I go and put the tea on? Perhaps get the good cigars out?
Well, if you don't mind.
Roll plus cold.
So, did I mention my background? Who I've been taking cues from? If not in tactically, but in temperament. That's a That's even with my +1, which to help myself, that's still a 6.
Oh, what?
So that's tragic.
That does seem unfortunate now, doesn't it?
Oh, wait, hold on. Is a +1? Can I also add my other +1 from addressing the answers from Gaze into the Abyss, or this is a different thing altogether?
No, actually, that would seem to follow. I mean, that's who you're supposed to go see, right?
Yeah. So that takes me up to a 7.
Okay, you're gonna get a condition, but
Oh yay, more XP.
oh yeah. Cool. So what do you want to do?
Kind of want to get a string on him.
Well, if you get a string on him, you can immediately offer that to him.
Yeah. What's the condition I'm gonna get? Actually, you want to think this through?
Oh, he's probably gonna curse you. So
Of course.
That's an excellent condition to have.
Cursed. Cursed. As if she doesn't live a cursed life anyway.
I mean, he put the cracked old sorcerer of Dunwich Town is practically on his visit card.
You know what? I would just give him conditions so I can just use. So me and Helen can use that in just in
Okay,
case.
cool. What's the condition you want?
I'm not exactly sure because I don't. I'm open to suggestions because what this does is basically kind of it's gonna let me do not do what I want, but do what he do what I want.
Something like curious about us, or just interested enough to see what happens, if that makes sense.
Intrigue, you're tempted.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Intrigue. That's the word. Yes.
Oakley dokley. All right, so he finally just shrugs. Says, "Fine, cool. So, let's do this thing. You and me, Finch. Come with me back to 1864. All right. So yeah, you're with Emily, and I guess Siobhan is coming over your way. Yes.
I believe that is the case.
I mean, not that you know it's Emily, but come on, folks.
Yeah. It's like for the folks at home.
Cool. Let's take that away, Siobhan.
I think Siobhan strides up with a glass of water and an alcoholic beverage, um, and says, "Emily, darling, how are you?"
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
Not yet. Siobhan Hunter.
That seems a curious introduction.
I'm a curious girl.
Well, no, I'm a curious girl, but I try to speak plainly. I save my riddles for my writing. I would advise you to do the same, and it's far easier to make introductions that way.
Well, you haven't met me yet, and now you have. Isn't that lucky?
You're very.
Siobhan, my dear, you are speaking in circles. Do you happen to be acquainted with this young lady?
Only in passing. You wouldn't remember me. I brought you some water and a drink. I wasn't sure which you'd prefer.
Well, I was raised in the Puritan hard-ribbed backbone of this state, so I wouldn't mind a cordial with something a little more interesting in it. Yes.
So she hands you the alcoholic beverage and keeps the water for herself. I do
You-
understand the need to let loose.
Well, I suppose this is letting loose. I'm just mystified by the whole thing. It seems a dream. I'm half expecting that I'll wake up in my bed. Poor Carlo, nipping at me, wanting his breakfast.
Yes, it is the most curious thing. This lady was telling me that she was surprised to find herself in Kingsport, almost as if she'd been spirited away.
Walking through mirrors or simply waking?
There was a carriage involved.
Seems about right for the sorts of people that we tend to be drawn to.
What are the sorts of people that you turn to?
Oh, not turn to, but tend to be drawn to. You know, sort of princely, otherworldly, almost fey-like creatures.
Well, that seems very fanciful indeed, but I have an admirer who prefers I call him the master, is which stokes my own poetical temperament. And so I accede. 'Tis a game that we play with each other. You know how one flirts.
I do indeed, darling. And she like toasts you gently with her water glass.
So, at this point, Finch is like kind of like trying to like put two and two together, and the only thing he's coming up with is three. But he's getting the feeling that you are encouraging the exact thing that he doesn't want, and he kind of like slides into the conversation and says, my, though, is it really proper for a lady such as yourself to be spirited away in the late of night by a gentleman whose name you barely seem to know?
No, I would say that it's not proper in the least.
Oh, Finch, since when do you and I care about propriety when there's an adventure to be had?
Adventure is all well and good, but I think in these trying times, we must be especially careful. You never know. Your gentleman caller could be from, one of those undesirable places.
The only thing I think that Miss Emily should be careful of is making promises that she can't keep.
I'm sure that she's a fine young lady who intends to keep all of her promises.
I'm sure she is as well.
I'm sure she can also talk about herself and does not need to be addressed in the third person.
My apologies, Emily. I was trying to make an oblique reference to a thing that my silly friend has done.
Yes, I believe she did catch the reference. She is very intelligent. So I believe you've made yourself very clear, my dear.
I've heard stories of you. My father has warned me about the decadent ways of the large cities, but I did not expect to find it in Kingsport, nor had I ever truly found it to be all that decadent in my trips to Boston. But perhaps your ways are different. I think you feel more at home here than perhaps even I do.
I think you may be right, my dear. You should consider potentially fleeing from such a place because such confusing people can often play with one's head.
I see.
It is worth noting that neither Finch nor I are exactly what you would call typical Kingsport folk.
On the contrary, we are both born and bred in Kingsport, of a kind.
Of a kind.
You are both so very, very arch. I feel that you belong better in some tale of Mr. Hawthorne's or perhaps something from Shakespeare, some minor comedy that perhaps was lost.
I do believe that's the finest compliment I've received today.
As do I. You have such a way with words, Miss Emily.
I don't recall giving you my name, Mr. Finch.
Well, Siobhan here has bandied about quite comfortably, so.
Yes, but Siobhan is not a man.
I think that for the turns that we've taken on the floor so far, I could beg your forgiveness for this one slight indiscretion.
Well, I have to say you have been a most charmant beau.
Isn't he just?
So, Miss, what shall I call you if I shall not be so forward?
If you would prefer not to be so forward, then you should address me as Miss Dickinson. But I suppose this is a strange place where all the rules are broken.
Certainly not all of them, but I think for the comfort of everyone involved, I'll stick with Miss Dickinson.
It's a shame that was my only chance to ever get called Sappho to my face.
So, Miss Dickinson, what can you tell us about your master? Seems quite the dashing figure.
He came to me one day when I was walking in my garden, pressing flowers. He knew I wrote poetry. He encouraged me in the writing of it. Since I have known him, I must say that I've written rather a lot.
Yes, I have heard he is a man that inspires much admiration.
I believe I've written something on the order of 600 or 800 poems in the last 3 years, so yes, I suppose that would be an accurate assessment.
Gosh, I wish I knew a man who could inspire such creativity.
It's not what you think or implying, if that's what you think or aren't implying.
Oh no, I simply mean that I have never been in love.
Perhaps you could be. You seem more the type, to be frank, though. He tells me that he has always liked the poetical types.
Alas, I am not a poet.
Well, if I were fanciful, which I'm not, for I'm a good Protestant girl from Amherst, I would say I would give him a name, perhaps one that he would be more comfortable with, but It would be the merest of fancies, wouldn't it?
What would you give him if you could?
I would call him Oberon.
Hmm.
Quite the fitting name.
Isn't it just? So my question would be, are you puck or bottom, Mr. Finch? Shall you be wearing ass's ears, or shall you address the audience at the end of this play?
I certainly think that by the end of this evening, I will be the one with the last word.
You intrigue me, Mr. Finch. If you're trying to make a roll here, just let me know.
Yeah, I don't think I am right now. Like, I'm trying to get to the conversation to a point where I'm gonna like shut her down because I'm trying to shut down Emily Dickinson. I'm trying to bully Emily Dickinson.
I'm just gonna pause that in my that when I started gaming in 1983, that I would get to the point where somebody would say this at my table. Okay.
Yeah, I say. But my all this talk of fairies is rather an astute observation of yours, because I think everyone is a bit mad here.
Are fairies mad, Mr. Finch?
Of a kind. I think that they want things, and I think that they don't let petty things like logic or humanity stand in the way of them.
I've heard they can be cruel, inhumane, unjust.
Indeed, it would be quite the bad thing to get on the wrong side of a fairy, don't you think?
Or any of their kind, I would think.
Well, what course have I set that would put me in the wrong with a fairy?
I mean, I believe that when one finds a suitor of such an interesting variety, one must always question, who has come before me? Have they ended happily? Obviously not, because this man has found his way into my life, but who has come before me, and may they hold a grudge?
Well, I'm still not sure I catch your meaning, Mr. Finch. I'm sure that the masters had prior favorites. I just don't know what's happened to them.
It is always a mystery, isn't it, to wonder what has happened before the you that was you, before you came along.
Well, he told me that when he first met me, he had me in mind for something, but he has told me that he changed his mind on that decision and that I should just concentrate on writing and that one day I will be published.
That is quite the promise for someone to make.
Perhaps you don't understand what that would mean, Mr. Finch. Are you a literary gentleman?
Of a kind.
How difficult do you think it would be for you to publish something, say, in your Kingsport Daily Republican?
I mean, I think that it would be not much of a challenge at all.
Well, but then again, you belong to the world's natural aristocracy, don't you?
Of, to more than one, yes, I do.
To more than one. Would you publish something by me, a spinster poet, daughter of a lawyer and a school proctor?
I know I would.
Yes, I'm sure. You're a very literary woman, I'm sure, Miss Hunter. And yet, I have had a piece published here or there, and they have taken what I wrought and they broke it with their inability to understand what I was doing. They took my beautiful broken half steps and wrench them into their iron booted march rhythm. They'll never understand me, but the master says he can change that. He'll give it to me. And if there's a cost that he wishes to pay for that, that is not my concern. It is his to pay, is it not?
That is quite naive to think that there's no price you will pay.
Emily, are you not familiar with mythology?
I am somewhat well read on that. We mostly read the Bible at home.
Do you know the story of Zeus?
There are many stories of Zeus. Most of them involve him having unnatural relations with some poor girl.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
But that is not the relationship I have with the master. Why would I fear that sort of thing? Unless you mean the punishment that... Unless you mean Hera.
That is what I mean.
And at last we come to an understanding.
But... Well, then tell me... So, what are you saying, that the master's Hera wishes me ill?
I think that the master has a Hera, and that she might.
Well,
I think the master has a Hera, and she does.
what was it I was supposed to be slotted for? If that is the source of their argument, perhaps I can do it.
Perhaps you can.
I would not wish a breach between them, nor would I desire to be Europa.
Who would?
Yes, it's a rather bovine existence.
I would rather not.
Well, can you tell me, Mr. Finch, what is it I am to do that has so enraged Hera that she has sent Mercury down to speak on her behalf? Or are you Paris in this story? Are you to judge which one of us is most fair? Here's a hint. It's Hera.
Yes, that was the one of the sillier parts of mythology, but I am no fool and I am no messenger. I am merely here to make sure that no ill will and that no ill fate befalls someone who really doesn't deserve it. After all, what has Hera done to countless women that simply had the misfortune of falling in Zeus's gaze?
So what would you have me do? Spurn the master?
Spurn is perhaps a harsh word. To spurn a god like Zeus would be disastrous, but a certain distance, a certain respectability, a certain intractability may be what it takes to allow him to cast his eyes back where they should be.
Or, counterpoint, build giant walls that she can't get past. Find yourself powerful protectors that can stand between you and harm.
Yes, I do rather like the idea of erecting a wall around oneself to protect them, to keep them from harm.
You all speak in such riddles. Can you not tell me plainly what it is that I was to do? Riddles are more my stock in trade.
Let me finally be clear with you, Emily. I think you should find a way back to that carriage that brought you here, and I think you should slip away into the night and run, and know that in matters of gods and mortals, it is always mortals who burn, who are turned into monsters, who suffer and die. And in this particular situation, you are the mortal. And I'm going to shut someone down.
Please.
Shutting down Emily Dickinson.
So that's 7 with my hold. Thank God.
Okay. You're gonna take a condition, but
So many conditions.
I know. But what are you going to do to her?
So they gain the condition inferior. Emily gains the condition inferior.
You bastard.
I know, I'm terrible. I bullied Emily Dickinson into seclusion.
You did.
I am the cause of this.
At least started it.
You did this.
It's my fault. I'm the monster. I'm the real monster here.
Yeah, but your heart was in it.
Oh, Monsterhearts, that's the title of the show.
That's a
Awesome.
good title drop.
Right? Whew.
So what condition shall we give you? What do we have on you already?
I mean, I think like
Everything. I am a terrible person.
Holy cow.
something like spider in a web or manipulative or
Devious.
devious.
Hmm.
Devious is good.
Yeah. I almost want to put in whom gods destroy, but
It's perfectly on the nose. Because those parallels were
I'm
completely
gonna give you plaything of the gods. That's the one I like on you. Because you're just doing their bidding.
That's spicy.
Thank you. Cool. I think what happens is Emily storms off to go and talk to the master, and you can see them having a terrible row.
Yeah. He's a little bit having a fight with his girlfriend. I think as she storms off, I like grab Finch by the arm and say, I think we should.
What was that?
I'd say I think we should leave now.
Yes, I have done what I set out to do. And I see what is the Queen of Hearts doing as this has happened.
Oh, she's looking at you with a feral gleam in her eye. I mean,
I just can I
she's
make eye like this?
you could walk right over and talk to her if you wanted.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say to Siobhan, there's one thing I need to do first. And then I walk over to the Red Queen and I say, I believe that is services rendered.
It's a start, my dear boy. It's a start. But don't forget, you're in my service. And she holds up a 4 of hearts. One of these days, I'll give you a lower card. But for now, don't think that this is over. Oh. Did you want to know what I wanted her to do?
Yes, enlighten me, mistress.
Do you know the story of Tam Lin?
Vaguely, like in real life, vaguely. I'm trying to remember.
He was a young man that was captured by the Queen of Elfland. For the Queen of Elfland must pay a tithe every 7 years to Hell. And so we take favorites among the mortals. And it was his turn. I'll see you around, dear boy. I'll see you around. There's many hills that one can tithe to.
So I kind of like I don't say anything and I just like dash off, like touching, like pulling Siobhan. Unless she wants to stay, she can stay.
No, I'm going with you. I'm the heck out.
And, is that mirror still conveniently there, like 20 years in the past?
You know what? I like that idea. So yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is where we hop back into our present day reality.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
So, meanwhile, in a farmhouse outside Dunwich. Cool. Well, we have X cards. So Noah Watley leads you into his ramshackle 2-story farmhouse through the front parlor and into the kitchen. You see this young girl who's just basically wearing like a shift that's practically made out of like a potato sack. She has very pale skin and just kind of looks at you with those big doe eyes that are already, you can see the tint of not quite right in there. And in the kitchen is Mrs. Watley. She would be younger. She's younger than she looks. She's rather decrepitly old, and she's poorly dressed. But mostly, what you notice is the chain that's fastened to her ankle, and the other end into the wall. And she jumps up as soon as you guys come in and hobbles over to the stove to put on some tea.
I'm not saying anything because I'm very quietly but very obviously appalled by all this.
Well, Euphenia, I've brought guests. I think you know them. And without a word, he just reaches. He goes into the cold, little cold cellar next door and pulls out a mug of beer and just sits down.
Yeah, I got it. I think I'm kind of on the same, uh, pretty much the same reaction as Alice. Like, only maybe more so because like I actually know this woman and I like seeing the person I've always viewed as really powerful who like taught me all this cool stuff. It trapped is I think it's just like sinking in like what like how much trouble we're in right now, and at the same yeah just like, oh, this is a really terrible situation.
What are you doing with the beer?
He's drinking it, glowering at you guys. So, well, you wanted to speak to her. Speak to her. I don't have all night to banter with you.
Can I smash that beer into his face?
I think so. You're pretty out there, right? So
Yeah. It's just I'm going out of my comfort zone here. Actual violence. Oh, this can only go so well. I'll just roll volatile. I'll just do it now. Oh, thank Christ, that's a 10.
cool. Yeah, you smash into his face. He stumbles back. You know, he probably opened up a cut above his lip. He's glowering at you even more. He's like, "You're gonna pay for that, girl." And
I,
he starts reaching for the shotgun he keeps over the door.
I
Fun
grab
fact:
it.
50% of sorcerer's duels are ended
I
with
found a shotgun.
Yeah.
Does I'm in his house. His stuff is all over the place.
Sure is.
I'm gonna pick up the nearest object that looks like it belongs to him.
He probably hung his hat up on the door.
Perfect. And I am going to cast Wither.
I figured that was coming.
And I'm gonna find the appropriate party. There it is. And that's a 13.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Don't Finch just wish he had our dice.
You know, right? Wow. I was expecting like a 5.
Yeah, I know. Cool. So, yeah. I think his hair starts to grow at a advanced rate, and it's turning gray and white as it grows, and he's already capturing upon him the infirmity of age, and he's gasping at you, and I think he barrels right into you because he knows he's got to put you down in order to defeat this. So, yeah, I no wait, actually, why would he do violence when he could do magic? He starts chanting something in a horrible language.
Oh, good.
Well, he's turned to Helen. Can I keep bashing him in the head because I don't really like him?
Well, I seem to have given you a golden opportunity, so I think so, yes.
Yay! Oh my god, it keeps going. I got boxcars.
Wow. Okay, cool. So yeah, you knock him down. He's bleeding more, but he's already laughing. If I were you, I'd run.
I'm just gonna keep bashing him in the head. I really don't like him.
Okay. He'll go down unconscious pretty quickly, but Helen, you hear on the rooftop the scrape of claws.
Great. Awesome. I guess I'm gonna actually wait. You're in the, okay.
Oh, sorry, go
on. I was like, what do I want to? Do I want to go out and look, or do I want to like try to break this chain first? I think Alice is closer to the shotgun and could like break the chain with that. So I'll like duck out the door and look up.
Yeah. I was gonna suggest like either that or like maybe find the keys to the chain on him.
That could work too. If that could also, that might be the smarter way to do it.
You're muted there, Cat.
You dash out, and Euphenia just gestures at the wall, and you see a key hanging there that you use to unchain her. As for you, Helen, you duck out and you look up on the roof, and a cloud has crossed the moon, so it's very dark. But you vaguely see maybe two figures standing there, and then wings come out of their back, huge bat-like wings that blot out what little light there is.
I think I like run back in and slam the door. Unlock it. And then pick up the shotgun.
I think I kind of like I go to what's the name of you? No, it's not Lavinia. It's
Euphenia.
Yeah. I was kind of like, is there another way out of here? That's not true. There.
She looks and shakes her head, and then she points down towards the root cellar and kind of gestures like, you could maybe crawl out from that way.
Can you do that as well? Okay, that's good. Yeah, I guess we'll go to root cellar, and then do we have to roll to run away from this thing?
I think you must roll.
Why did I suggest that? Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You didn't have to suggest. It was already there.
I mean, there is a move called run away.
yeah, I know. Who wants to roll that? Do you want to roll that?
Do we both roll it, or?
Oh, you both get to roll it. There's two after all, aren't there?
Yeah. Let's hope. Let's hope. Oh, thank Christ for Helen at least.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Don't fail me now.
Oh, for crying out loud!
That's appropriate.
Yeah, that actually is incredibly
Oh, no.
appropriate. Oh, okay, well, more XP, I guess.
Cool. 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 So the reason why Helen got away so clean is because they both chased you, Alice. And as you're running, one of them swoops down and grabs Euphenia by the shoulders and yanks her up into the air. She doesn't scream, or she opens her mouth and makes a hoarse crying noise as she's yanked back from you. The other one stops, and you see someone come down off the creature's back. Luckily it is too dark for you to see much things. And she comes walking up to you, looks around, strikes a match, and you look into the face of Alice.
Wow, I don't know what to say. I think I see that. Just- yeah, I know. Alice doesn't have anything to say.
Just what are you supposed to be?
Yeah, no, I was lost in, but no, I think when Alice says that, I think just smile. I think I was just like, just lets out a tired laugh and just. I was hoping you could tell me then.
I suppose this was somebody's smart idea.
I was just gonna fall to her knees. Well, my Alice is just gonna fall to her knees, kind of like just. No, God. No, she doesn't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I can't decide if I should just let this be or if I should fix this. Which would you prefer?
I get up on my knees again and like. I guess that depends on your definition of fixing it. How would you fix this then, Alice?
I would say that there can only be one Alice McBride.
Fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. Be Alice McBride then, so I can be someone else.
That wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I said I would fix it.
Oh. Does that mean there's no... If there can only be one, that means the other must go. Does it?
I was perfectly happy with my, well, rather witchy wife. And I got pulled back here by that crackpot of a sorcerer. So you tell me what I should do, fake Alice. Because right now what I'm thinking is I should turn and say the word I was taught to these Biaki, and they will rise in the air and tear you limb to limb. I wonder if you'll bleed. Or are you just sawdust or gears inside?
She looks at her. I look at my hand. Scar still there from when that fox bit me, and I'm like, oh, don't worry. I know that I bleed. Anything else is trivia. No, I think. No, since you're here, I want to know. I want to know. You're here now. Tell me why did you leave Kingsport? Why go?
Why would I want to stay in Kingsport? I had a genuine Welsh witch to make love to and learn from.
So, how do you feel then if you're letting me go? I'll go back and burn that town to the ground. Bring it to its knees. Because clearly, it doesn't deserve either of us.
What about our sister?
She's not my sister.
Yeah,
You
but
tell me.
well, she's mine, and I'm sorry. I don't really want Eliza to burn, as you put it.
Why would you ever not?
All right, go back to Kingsport. Do as you will. I guess there can only be one Alice McBride. I have a different name now. You can just be Alice.
Oh, shit.
With that, she hops on the back of the creature and soars into the air.
Can I go find Helen now and cry?
That's probably a good idea. I'm curious if Helen gives up witchcraft after this.
I don't think so, but I think I like once I realized that Alice wasn't with me, I like stopped, and now I'm just wandering around the woods in the dark looking for her.
Definitely plan.
I think you see her. She's still where she was, just kneeling on the ground, and you can see that she's crying.
Yeah, I finally, find her, and I go up to her and kind of like kneel down next to her and put my arm around her, and I say, you're not a correct copy of the original. You're an improvement.
Are you making her feel beautiful?
I am.
That would be a good roll to have.
No, it says last roll total. I was like, that cannot be the case, but it is in fact the last roll total.
Another 12.
14 actually.
Jesus
That's my
Christ.
high score.
Clearly,
It's gonna the streak is gonna end at the worst possible time.
I was gonna say that it was, I was gonna give your team a name, but it's clear that it's just Team Not Finch.
We only fail when it's dramatically appropriate.
Yeah.
Well, you get to choose two of those. Hey, you could continue your streak of taking experience.
Oh wait, I guess it's here. I get to choose two. Okay. Well, if you would like to remove cursed, you can.
Yeah, sure. I probably don't want
And
that.
I
on
mean,
me.
yeah, a market experience. I guess.
Okay. Get another advance. Jesus.
That wow.
I think I'm just gonna collapse into Helen's arms, I guess. Just crying. Just like I guess I'm Alice McBride.
Oh, I feel like I've inflicted a fate worse than death on you.
Poor Alice.
Well, that all happened. I gotta say, this has been one of the more sudden reversal type runs. Well, the next week we'll try and put a bow on this. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but it will probably be weird. You know, we came for the Monsterhearts, and a Call of Cthulhu game broke out in the middle. Just
I don't
lit
know
some
what
sand. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys the thing in a second, and wow, thank you guys. That was really something. It's really something beautiful. So, thank you very much, Bethany, for being in for another outstanding guest turn. And I think am I seeing you for Russia next month? All right.
No.
Okay, I think I'm seeing you in the Bat Hack with Jim, though.
That's what it is, yeah.
And yeah, we'll just figure something out. We're gonna have a lot of things to say to poor David when he gets back. So here's a Discord link, and I will see you all next week. Thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun.